What's up, Facebook? Ty Crandall here with Credit Suite, and welcome to our live stream today. Today, we are talking about vendors that you can use to build business credit. We're going to talk about exactly the ones during the coronavirus, right now, what's going on, vendors that you can actually use to successfully build business credit. I'm going to walk through, teach you the vendors. We're even going to talk about exactly what you need to do to be able to get approved, not just for vendors, but we're going to talk about what you can do to get business credit during this crisis. So a lot of stuff that we are going to cover today. Let's start with some of the basics. Okay, for those that don't know about business credit, I'm going to teach you a lot of things today, but there's two things I mainly want you to know. There's two kinds of business credit that you really need to be aware of. One is something called a credit line hybrid. This is business credit that requires a personal guarantee. You're personally liable for it. It requires a personal credit check. It's even based on your personal credit quality, but the benefit of this kind of credit is that you can get high limit credit lines, no doc, without cash flow verification, without collateral, and the credit reports to the business credit reporting agencies. So that's the first way you can build initial business credit with real cash credit lines. Get up to 150 grand, get 0% credit, get 0% rates for 18 months. Get the credit, it reports to the business credit reporting agencies, and voila, you establish your initial business credit. Now the second option is the opposite. You don't need personal guarantees. You don't need personal credit check. This is where we're using vendors to be able to build business credit. Now, vendors are vendors that will give you credit to buy things in their store, their products, their services. They're called trade vendors. Here's the issue. Over 97% of trade vendors don't report to the business credit reporting agencies. So we talk to a lot of companies that are 1 million, 5 million, 10 million plus in sales. And the issue they have is they think they have credit with all these vendors. And then when they go to get a loan, they get denied because their business credit is not established, only to find that none of the vendors they have credit with report the credit to the business credit reporting agencies. Getting vendors that report the credit is very rare. Getting vendors that report the credit who will give you credit when you have none are even more rare. And that's why we're going to be talking about vendors today. So Jansen just came in. I can always tell because he's hitting that like and love button. And if this makes sense to you, please do me a favor. Ask for one. Like the video, click the loves, click the likes, because here's what happens. When Facebook sees that people are engaging and like the content, they will share it. Second request, tell me where you're coming from or where you're calling in from. Tell me the state that you're calling from. There's some unique funding available on your state. Maybe I'll jump into that today or not, but I'd like to see where everybody is calling from. So go ahead in comments and just type in where you are actually coming in from. And Jansen, thanks for setting a good example of how to go crazy with the likes and loves when people see something that they like. South Carolina, welcome. Thank you for coming in. So remember, two ways to initially build business credit. We can use our personal credit to get credit line hybrid, 0% rates, no doc financing, credit lines up to $150,000 that report to the business credit reporting agency. And Arizona, Atlanta in the house. And Steve says, hey, just saw you on YouTube, but could not comment on YouTube. Don't know what's up, but you can comment on here, Steve, and thanks for coming in. Houston, Miami, Florida, from East Texas, South Dakota's in the house. What's up, South Dakota? Hope it's warm up there. I love your Black Hills. It's beautiful up there. And Jansen's in Maryland, a lot of people coming in. So today we're going to talk about business credit building. I'm going to teach you how it works. I'm going to teach you how to get the vendors to build business credit. Remember, two ways to initially build business credit. What I'm going to teach you today using vendors. No personal guarantee required, no personal credit check. Second way, using your good credit or that of a guarantor, family member, friend, etc., using that credit or your credit to get up to $150,000 in credit lines, the best type of financing you can get during coronavirus right there. And those lines report to the business credit reporting agencies so you could build business credit while actually at the same time getting access to about $150,000 in credit lines. If that makes sense, you can give us a ring and we will help you get approved for those credit lines. So let's go back. We're talking about vendors that build business credit. The second way you can build initial business credit. Business credit building, so let's talk a little bit about what we're talking about with business credit. So business credit, a lot of benefits here. We're building a credit profile for your business. Your business is separate from your personal credit profile. When we build the business credit profile, it makes it easier for you to get financing because lenders pull this and they start looking at this over your personal credit profile. As a matter of fact, a lot of credit issuers will look at this credit profile only and will ignore this one. They won't even ask you for it. That's my goal. My goal is to help you build a business credit profile that can stand on its own to help you get credit. Okay, and makes it a lot easier to get financing, loans and credit lines as well. Now, Kevin says, I just started a fairly successful business. I would like to build business credit. Awesome. It's exactly what we're going to be talking about. So one of the huge benefits is that we separate personal and business credit. You've got a business credit profile and you've got a personal credit profile. You're getting credit that reports to your business credit reports, not your personal. So it gives you twice as much credit. You've got a Home Depot on your personal credit report. You've also got a Home Depot on your business credit report. Another huge benefit here of business credit building is that the limits are stupid high compared to what you're used to with consumer credit. My apology for saying the S word. I teach my kids that the stupid word is a bad word. But they're very high limits. Per SBA, the limits on these accounts are 10 to 100 times higher than with consumer credit. It's very common to get $20,000 to $50,000 credit limits, showing you what I'm going to show you today, following these steps, within about 2 to 3 months. You could never do that in the consumer world, but you can absolutely do that in the business world. Kimberly says, call the number. It's so much easier to work with a team and pay the fees for what you get. Kimberly, thank you very much for that. And Kimberly's saying, we've got 2 programs. I'm going to teach you how to do it, and it can take you 2-3 years if you do it on your own. Or you can give us a ring, and we can help you along the way here. We can even help you get your business credit reports for free. We'll go through your business credit reports for you, and we'll develop a unique strategy for you. If you're giving us a call, we can help you with building business credit as well. So, a lot of other benefits. High limits. Twice as much credit. Separate personal and business credit. You also separate personal and business liability. With the credit I'm going to teach you how to get today, you're not personally liable for this credit, which means if you default, then they can't come after you and your business. Man, there's no better time than coronavirus time to talk about liability. Because right now, a lot of businesses got slammed out of left field, and now all of a sudden they're worried about defaulting on everything when a month ago they had no fear of that. That's what happens with economic shifts. The unexpected should be the expected. I went through this in the mortgage industry. I'm going through it now. And what it comes down to is this. All kinds of crazy things happen to us as entrepreneurs that we cannot predict or expect. This is why you want to separate personal and business expenses. When you do so, you're not personally going to go down for what happens in your business. To give you an example, I owned a mortgage company. I personally guaranteed my debts. When I started to go late on business debts, they reported on my personal credit reports, all of which I'm going to show you how to avoid today. When that credit hit my personal credit reports and those late payments showed, all my credit issuers lowered my limits to what I owed, removed my ability to navigate through the crisis, tanked my credit scores, and ruined my ability to get the money I needed to get through the crisis. That's exactly what happens when you use your personal guarantees for your business debts. It's also exactly what happens. Actually, one more beyond that, they cleaned out my personal bank account because I defaulted on the business debt. Took all the money, gone. So this is why you don't provide personal guarantees, and it's also why you need to separate personal and business reporting. If I would have had a separate business credit report at the time, then that credit would have showed there and not on my personal report, and my credit limits on my personal side never would have been touched. I would have been able to navigate through the crisis without any issue. But the fact that I didn't separate personal and business credit is what caused me to basically go bankrupt on the personal side because of recession just like this hit. That's why I'm here. I want to teach you how to separate personal and business credit so you're not personally liable for what's happening in your business. And Kevin says, I'm doing a lot of business as a web designer and graphic designer, but don't know how to get business credit. That's exactly what we're going to teach about. So a lot of benefits here. Let's talk about how to get it. The very first thing you need to do is do something I talk about a lot, which is called fundability. Your business has got to look legit, okay? Let me explain it to you this way. The problem you have is that when you're applying for business credit and you have none, you don't have things that credit issuers can look at to establish your credibility. They go to pull your business credit report, it doesn't exist. So they look at what's on your application for you to establish credibility, which means everything on your application needs to reflect that you're a legitimate, credible business. Here, I'll show you. You need a business address or a virtual address. You need to avoid P.O. boxes and avoid UPS addresses. You can use a home address, but Dun & Bradstreet's including Google Street Views of your address on your business credit report. Do you want a picture of your house on your business credit report? If the answer is no, then you definitely want to avoid putting your home address as your business address. You want a business phone number, or a voice over IP number. You do not ever want to use a home phone or a mobile phone as your business phone on any kind of credit application. You want to have an LLC, a corporation set up. You never want to try to apply with a sole proprietorship, because a sole proprietorship, you are the business. You get sued, the business gets sued, you get sued. Not an attorney, not legal advice, but that's the way that it is. We need to separate personal liability. Okay, and the only way you can do that is if you're an LLC or a corporation, an entity that will let you separate personal and business credit. Okay, on top of that, if you need licensing, you should get that licensing. There's a lot of vendors that will approve you just because you have a license in your business. Granger, for example, one vendor will automatically give you a $2,500 credit limit just because you have a license for your actual business. So having any licenses you need is a very good thing to have. Having a professional website set up. Make sure that your email is not a Gmail or an AOL email address that you're applying for credit under. These things are very important to your fundability as well. Getting your LexisNexis business credit report or LexisNexis personal credit report and checking it for errors and for things you don't want on there. Very important to getting the credit and financing that you want. So set up your address the right way. Get a phone number that's toll free. Make sure it's listed with 411. Get any other necessary licenses. Get your email. Get your website. Get all those things set up. Everything that goes on an application should reflect that you're credible. Toll-free number, professional website and email, phone number listed with 411. Set up your business bank account. You don't need to show the bank account for business credit building, but they will want you to supply bank references, okay? Any licenses that you need, and you need to make sure that all this information is congruent. Let me teach you one of the most valuable lessons that I will ever teach. Okay, the number one reason that loans are denied is because they think your loan application is fraud. That's what happens. Over 50% of all denials, turndowns, come because they look at the information on your application. It doesn't match other areas like the Secretary of State, and they deny the application because they think it's fraud. So make sure that your information is congruent. Your business name, phone number, address should be listed everywhere online exactly the same way, okay? It's very important that you do this. Beyond that, you also need to make sure that it's Yellow Pages, Facebook, website, everywhere it's listed needs to be congruent. So make sure you do that. We call that fundability. It's the very first step with building business credit. You need to get set up with the IRS, get a corporation, get an LLC, and get a free EIN number. EIN numbers are provided by the IRS at absolutely no cost. You can only get them from irs.gov. Now, I'm going to show you today how to build business credit, and it's much faster than consumer credit. But here's why. It's faster because you're actually getting credit that only reports to the business credit reporting agencies. To build your business credit scores, it only takes you paying your bills as agreed. Business credit scores are primarily based on only one factor: how you pay your bills. If you pay your bills on time or early, you get good scores. If you don't have good scores. So the key is that you want to pay your bills on time or early to accounts that report to the business credit reporting agencies. If you do that one thing, the one thing will give you a good score. That's why business credit building is so fast to build. If you look at consumer credit, it's based on your credit mix. It's based on inquiries. It's based on the amount of credit you have. It's based on the type of credit you have. It's based on your utilization. It's based on 5 factors that are hard to control. So it takes you years of well-disciplined borrowing to get good scores. In the business world, you can have excellent scores very quickly because the scores are based just on how you pay your bills. We just need to get credit cards that report, and we also need to make sure that you pay those bills as agreed. That's why it's very fast. Now, after that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get set up with Dun & Bradstreet. You're going to want to get your DUNS number from their system. Now, Dun & Bradstreet may try to charge you with this. If you get on the phone, they'll try to bundle this in a package and sell it to you for money, but it's absolutely free. You can go to creditsuite.com/DUNS to get the quick link to get your DUNS number for free, but D&B will still call you and try to sell you stuff. But that will get you into Dun & Bradstreet's system. Now, it's very important to note that in order to get into Dun & Bradstreet's system, you have to go and get your DUNS number. But in order to have a credit report with Dun & Bradstreet, you need 2 things. You need your DUNS number, and you need 3 accounts reporting to them. 3. If you don't have a DUNS and 3 accounts reporting to D&B, you will not have a credit score with D&B. A lot of people ask me that. Hey, why isn't Dun & Bradstreet creating a credit report for me? Because you don't have 3 accounts or you don't have a DUNS number. They require to have both in order to build credit with Dun & Bradstreet. You also want to search to see if you're set up with Equifax and or Experian right now. You can do so at creditsuite.com/reports. Here's why this is important. Because you will be issued a failing credit score, and I'm going to show you on a real credit profile here. You will be issued a failing credit score even if you have absolutely no credit with Experian and Equifax. That means even if your business has never got any credit that you've paid late, you will still have a failing credit score with Experian and with Equifax if they know you exist and if you have not established any business credit with them. And I'm going to pull up some real reports. I got a bunch of stuff running on my computer, so it's running a little bit slow. So this is why you need to do this search at creditsuite.com/reports. Now this search is going to tell you if you have any credit set up with the reporting agencies now. If you do, you need to pull your business credit report. Otherwise, you're going to see what I'm going to show you right now. Here's an example of somebody that has a very, very high risk score. Out of 0 to 100, 0 being the highest risk you can get, they're a 6. But what's interesting about this is if I scroll to the very bottom, you'll see there is no credit here. There's zeros, there's trade lines, there's no trade lines, there's nothing beyond terms. There's just no credit here. So you can also see here that the reason that it's high risk is that there's a lack of active trades. And we can see this right here, okay? Industry, lack of trades, high risk. So here's how this works. If Equifax and Experian pulls your business, or if Equifax and Experian know you exist, and they know you exist because you tell them you do, you file annual reports at the beginning of every year. They get those annual reports, they know you exist. The next thing that they do is they will create a credit profile for you. And if they don't like your industry, and they don't like a lot of industries, then you will automatically get a failing business credit score. Do you have one now? You need to check creditsuite.com/reports to see if you do. Now, Herb says, does business credit report to Transunion? No, only personal credit reports to Transunion. Remember, there are the business credit reporting agencies, Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax Commercial. There are the consumer reporting agencies, Transunion, Equifax, and Experian. Business credit only reports to the business credit reporting agencies if you do it the right way. Some people get credit and don't know where it reports, like a Capital One Spark card. It reports to consumer and business. That's why you need to stay away from those kind of accounts. But very, very good question. So we got to get this DUNS number from Dun & Bradstreet, creditsuite.com/DUNS. We got to search Equifax and Experian to see if they exist. If there's no records, we move on. If there is a record, we want to go to creditsuite.com/monitoring to pull our business credit. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to go through these tiers of credit. And the very first tier is what's called the vendor credit tier. Now, these are vendors. These are companies that will give you terms like net 30. They're easy to get approved with. They report to one of the reporting agencies. So what net 30 means is it means you have 30 days to pay that bill in its entirety. Okay, that's what net 30 means. So if I have a net 60 account, it means I have 60 days to pay off the whole balance that I owe. Net 15, 15 days. So if I have a credit card and I put $500 on it, a regular credit card that's revolving, I could pay a minimum payment until that $500 is paid off. With a vendor account, if it's a net 30, I have 30 days to pay that account. So that's what a net 30 is. Almost all these vendors are offering net accounts. Net 55, net 60, net 30, net 15, which means you have that many days to pay the balance you put on the card in its entirety. And Herb says, I was just denied a PayPal business loan, and it was because of no history on Transunion. I did not enter my personal social. Well, you might have authorized a soft pull with them, so you have to be very careful, and that can happen. But when you build business credit, it just absolutely makes you more lendable, which is one of the reasons we want to do this. So let's talk about some of the best vendors to get approved with. Quill, the number one. They report to Dun & Bradstreet, but they can report as often as 90 days. And let me explain this. A lot of people ask me how long it takes to build business credit. Here's what I say. It depends on how many accounts you get and how long it takes those accounts to report. Here's what I mean. Our clients that we help build business credit, and we take 3 years of this process and condense it to 6 months. How we do it is this. When it comes to getting vendors, we have them apply for more vendor accounts than they need, because some, like Quill, may only report quarterly versus monthly. Very important. When you're getting business credit, you need to know if they report monthly or quarterly. If they report quarterly like Quill, you might get the account, use the account, and you might not even get it on your business credit reports for 3 months. So if you're going to apply for accounts like Quill, I got a like. Somebody likes that. If you like this, if this makes sense, tell me where you're from. Give me some feedback. Like this and let me know that I'm on the right track. So you've got to make sure that you're actually coming in and getting accounts that report monthly as well as quarterly. It's a way to make it go faster. If I get more accounts and some report quarterly, but others report monthly, I could build business credit faster. So Quill sells office supplies, just about everything every person on here needs, quill.com. They report to Dun & Bradstreet, but they oftentimes will report in 90 days, and you're going to want to spend about $50 with them in order to have the account reported. This is the reason that business credit building is tricky, and it's why we have a company that's successful, right? Because if you don't know that, you could buy $30 worth of stuff at Quill, wait 3 months, and it doesn't report, only to find out you had to spend $50. So Quill, you need to spend $50 in order to get the credit reported. But I love Quill because they offer a bunch of products and services that you and I both need. Uline. They sell shipping supplies, uline.com. They report to D&B. You've got to have that DUNS number first. They're going to ask for bank references. That's why I told you to do all this stuff first, because a lot of these credit issuers are going to do that. Let me refer back to that. So a lot of people, what I need you to know is that when I tell you about fundability, when I tell you about setting up your business where you're fundable and credible, I tell you this because every single credit issuer doesn't require the things I tell you, but a lot of them do. So let me give you an example. Let's say you want to use a home address for your business. That's okay. Staples will still approve you, and so will Office Depot, and so will Amazon. But Walmart will not. So when I tell you about fundability, it's because some credit issuers just won't approve you at all if you don't meet some fundability requirements. Others will. So you may go into Staples and go, I don't know what Ty was talking about. I got approved with Staples with no problem with the home address. Yeah, you did. But you can't get approved at Walmart with that home address. So when I tell you about fundability, it's to help you get max funding, get the max amount of approvals that you can actually get. And Delight says, wonderful information. East North Tennessee. Welcome, East North Tennessee. That's awesome. I am not Northeast Texas sports. Facebook is making stuff up. I will not listen to Facebook. I don't trust Mark anyways, just so you know that between you and I. Okay, so Uline. They sell shipping supplies. Report to D&B. DUNS number, bank references. I like them because they sell shipping supplies, something we all need. Grainger.com. They report to D&B. You've got to have the DUNS number, and if you have a business license, you automatically get approved for $2,500 with them. Now, need to know here that I don't need to tell you anything about Social Security numbers yet. None of these sources are going to ask you for your social. You'll notice that when you apply. They're business credit only. They won't even ask for your social. I'm going to talk about social a little bit later. What you do with your social matters. But it doesn't matter with vendors because most of these vendors don't even care. Hey, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Most of these don't even care about the social. They won't even ask for it. Grainger, $2,500, automatic approval if you have a business license, just so you know. Strategic Network Solutions is another one of my personal faves. Okay, they sell networking solutions, office type of solutions, those kind of things. They report to Experian. You've got to have your DUNS number and you've got to have a business license and your EIN to get approved. Now, these are 4 of my favorite that I'm using right now. Uline, Quill, Grainger, Strategic Network Solutions. These are 4. Now, there's another one called Summa Office Supplies that's becoming one of my new favorites. I like office supplies company. Office supply companies have stuff that you and I both need. So Summa is another vendor that will help you build business credit that I don't talk about very much at all. So they're another one that could really help you as well. So if we talk about Summa, we talk about Grainger, we talk about Quill, we talk about Uline, we talk about Strategic Network Solutions. Wells Fargo also has a secured credit card you can get as well that will help you build business credit. So that's like 6 different sources that you can get. And I'm going to give you one more. There's one called Behalf. Behalf offers financing for your customers, and they will let you basically like AR type financing. They will let you build business credit with them as well. The financing you get with them reports to the business credit reporting agencies. So beyond the ones I showed you, Quill, Uline, Grainger, Strategic Network Solutions, I also gave you Summa Office Supplies, office supply place, you'll love them. Behalf, which will get financing. Behalf reports to all 3, Experian, Equifax, and Dun & Bradstreet. And I also gave you a tip about the Wells Fargo Secure Credit Card. Let me give you another tip here. What I'm talking about where they report to is very important. It's very important for a reason. These are called payment experiences. So where an account reports is called an actual payment experience. So what matters and why this matters so much is this. The more payment experiences you have, the more credit you're going to actually be able to obtain, okay? So my goal for you is to be able to help you obtain as much credit as I can help you possibly get. And if you want to get the max amount of business credit you can get, my computer is running so slow because I think it's running a million little things here. But in order to get the most amount of credit you can get, you want to get credit with companies that report to the majority of the reporting agencies. So if you can ever get a credit account that reports to 2 or 3 reporting agencies, you always want to get that account more than an account that reports to 1 reporting agency, because 1 is 1 payment experience. 3 is 3 payment experiences. So you need about 5 to move on to retail credit. I'm going to teach you that in just a minute. So if you have 5 payment experiences, you can move on to getting Staples and Home Depot and those kind of things, right? But here's the deal. If I come in and get 1 vendor that reports to 3 reporting agencies, I just came in and got my three of the accounts that I need in 1 shot. So that gives me a much better chance of getting approved faster for the credit that I want, because I was able to come in and get an account that gave me 3 payment experience instead of just 1. So that's what payment experiences is. And it's also one of the ways that we really help our clients expedite business credit building. You can see this is what our business credit building system looks like. And it says everyone that it reports to, because this is double. You get double the credit because it reports to D&B and Experian. This reports to all 3. So Crown Office Supplies, although this isn't a vendor, these are revolving credit sources. Once you get your vendors, this gives you a lot of credit because there's 3 different reporting agencies it reports to. We also just make it simple for our clients to succeed because we actually list the underwriting guidelines, everything it takes to get approved. So that's the kind of information that just helps you expedite business credit building. But let's move on. I have a 3 o'clock webinar, so I got 10 minutes to get through the rest of this. So I gave you about 8 different vendors that will now help you build business credit. Next, you want to monitor your business credit building at creditsuite.com/monitoring. Next, you want to move on to one of the next tiers, either retail credit tier, or you want to move on right here to your fleet credit tier. Fleet credit accounts are accounts with fuel companies. It's BP, it's Chevron, it's Conoco, it's Pilot Flying J. If you have a transportation business, these are of great help. And when you have about 5 accounts reporting, you can start to get retail credit. About 8 to 10 accounts, you'll start to get fleet credit. Retail credit is just what I said. It's almost every major retailer. Here, I'll give you an example of retail credit in our system so you can get an idea of the kind of credit that's available once you build vendors. Home Depot here, Maverick, Gulf Fleet, Sunbelt Rentals, Meyer. As you can see, almost every major retailer here offers business credit, all without a personal guarantee, all without a personal credit check. So this is called retail credit. This is the kind of credit that you can get without a personal credit check. Stuff at places like Fleet Credit, like 7-Eleven, you probably know about. Holiday or Quick Check you might not know about. But almost every major retailer out there offers this kind of business credit, even Wawa. So you can start to get this retail credit once you have 5 accounts reporting. So we've got to come through the fleet credit or the retail or the vendor credit tier first. Then we get retail credit tier, Walmart, Amazon, Staples, Office Depot, almost every major retailer. Then we start to get fleet credit with 8 to 10 accounts. Then we get the Visa MasterCard credit. And we also come in here at the same time. And we also get auto financing. Hold on, I got to let somebody's at my door. That's Macy. She's here helping today. Okay, so that is the credit tiers. We start with vendor credit, as I've told you, a bunch of sources. I gave you a bunch of them. Uline, Quill, Granger, Strategic Network Solutions. I also told you about Wells Fargo Secure Credit Card. I also talked to you about Behalf that can accept payments from your customers. Wells Fargo Secure Credit Card, a bunch of them. Once we have 5 payment experiences, we move to retail credit. Then with 8 to 10, we can get fleet credit. And with 14, and at least one of them that has a $10,000 high, we can move to Visa cards, MasterCards. Not a lot of these sources, they come and go, but you can get those when you get to 14 credit. Now, you remember, you got to pay the bills on time. As I talked about, paying your bills is how your score is calculated. So pay those on time or early. And once you do so and you follow this formula, this is going to be what's going to help you get all kinds of credit with high limits without a personal guarantee and credit check, and it also makes you more lendable. Okay, oh, thank you. Fabry's Fashion Accessory says, good info, I love you. I love you too, thank you very much. Antiqua says, I can't get a gas card to save my life, Ty. To be honest with you, I've had a hard time getting gas cards in the past, and the reason is I don't have any vehicles. On the application, they ask questions like, how many vehicles do you have? And I found that even with a bunch of business credit established, they don't like to give a lot of credit in the fleet world to people that don't have a lot of vehicles. That may be an issue, or you might not have 8 to 10 accounts in your credit report. That could be the issue as well. Jay Reach Wallace says, awesome. How much is your business credit program? We've got multiple different options. Okay, our business credit program, we're rolling back to 2017 pricing this week to help with people in the coronavirus. It's $2,500. You can be very affordable payments. Will make it easy for you to afford. We save you $2,200 a month on credit monitoring alone and save you a bunch of other stuff. If that's too hefty for you or you can't afford the normal monthly payments you see on the website, don't worry. Call us. Okay, if you contact us, you'll find that we've got programs that we don't even offer on our website. Programs that our advisors aren't involved, so our cost is less, so it's very affordable monthly. All you have to do is give us a call. When you give us a call at 877-600-2487 or you schedule a consultation with us, either way, we will do a free business credit search, see what's on your business credit reports. We'll help you access your Dun & Bradstreet and Experian credit report at absolutely no cost. And then what we will do is then we will walk through it with you and teach you exactly what you need to do build business credit. You can use our information, take you 2-3 years on your own. You could definitely do it. You can also work with us and we'll condense it to 4 to 6 months. I just showed you how. Our software and our advisors just make it step by step. It's just click, it's simple. Every source, we tell you what to apply for in what order. We tell you what it takes to get approved. We tell you when they report. And with our advisors and our software, we do it in a way where all of a sudden everybody's trying to figure out where to apply. Somebody just came in and said, I can't get fleet credit to save my life. Yeah, because you're not a client. And if you're following our system and get the right amount of accounts to be able to get the credit you want, then you'll be able to get approved here. So for example, if we look at 7-Eleven, you might not be able to get approved for 7-Eleven. Do you know why? Well, you probably don't because you don't know what you're about to see here, which is the actual underwriting guidelines for 7-Eleven. This is the underwriting guidelines. Think about if you're applying for credit where you knew what it took to get approved before you even apply. That's just how we condense years of business credit building to months. And Kimberly says, call them. Kimberly is one of many of our clients that have had great success with building business credit. I'm going to wrap this up. I've got a webinar at 3 o'clock, but I just walked through and showed you exactly how to build business credit. I introduced, 7, 8 different vendors that you can use to build business credit. If we can help you, don't forget when you call, we give you your Dun & Bradstreet and Experian credit reports for free. We'll do a free search with the reporting agencies to see if you're established now as well. You can also schedule a consult with us at creditsuite.com/consult. I'm going to wrap this up. If you have any questions along the way, let us know. But now you know how to use vendor credit to build business credit. And by the way, you want one of those SBA disaster loans? You can't get SBA loans without building business credit. So if you're going to apply for an SBA loan, especially an SBA disaster loan, make sure that you start building business credit. SBA loans all work off the FICO small business score. You can't have a FICO small business score high enough to get any kind of SBA loan unless you have established business credit. It's just the way that the math of the FICO score works. So build business credit, and if you haven't already, then get with us to build business credit while you're applying for the SBA disaster loans because you're going to need business credit established to get approved. Don't forget, we can help you with the SBA disaster loans as well. Just give us a ring. I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I will be here Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern, and I'm talking about SBA loans. I'm going to talk about what's changed. We'll talk about what it takes to get approved for SBA disaster loans, and we'll talk about everything you need to know to get your hands on some of the $50 billion they just dumped into SBA. That will be right here live on Facebook Thursday at 11. And remember, if we can help you along the way, give us a ring, 877-600-2487. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.